dum da 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 la 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 ba da dum bum ba ba da dum bum ba da dum bum ba da da la 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 hey ba da dum bum ba da la 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 ba da dum bum ba me da la la ba da dum bum ba ya ay da ay 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 did it I la la da la la did it I la la da la la ay ay bam ba ba dum bam ba ba da da la did it I la la da la la ay la la da la la ay la 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 da la la da la da la good Chodesh everybody. Chodesh Tov Vorach. There's so much to do. It's already very late, but I just wanted to mention, because we're saying this nigun right now, we got confirmation, Baruch Hashem, that Rav Ginsburg has invited us to his house tomorrow night at 8 p.m. in Kfar Chabad to do a special thing for us that have finished Tikkun HaMedina and going into Chag HaShavuos. He'll be giving over in English. 8 p.m. is Ma'ariv, going into a special... I don't have words. I'm ani mitragesh me'od. I haven't seen him in a few months, and many of you have never seen him, but the idea is like this. I know there's a lot of different things going on tomorrow night, and the spaces there are also, it's not like we could bring out 5,000 people. So whoever is going to be coming, and I encourage you to, please let me know as soon as possible. Whoever is going to be coming, let me know as soon as possible in a text message today, and we'll give you the exact ways link how to get to the place in Kfar Chabad. But we're starting at 8 p.m. davening Ma'ariv, and then with the Rav, and then we're going right into a Farbrengen with him. So that's very special. Baruch Hashem, it's very, very special. We're learning the month of Sivan, Baruch Hashem. The month of Sivan, Leilu Nishmas Bas Yefega Bas Yisrael, Levi Ben Yosef, Leilu Nishmas Frida Sima Bas Yitzchak, and Leilu Nishmas Pinchas Menachem Ben Avram David. That's Miriam Sawson's Abba, whose Yortzeit is this month. Sponsored by the Sawsons. The week, sponsored by Michael and Cindy Levy, in memory of Reb Asher Ben Yamin, Dina Bas Moshe, Aaron, and Gidel Bas Emmanuel. And today is sponsored by Mindy Barad, in honor of the 5th Yortzeit of Mindy's Abba, Meir Yeshua Ben Asher Anshel HaKayan. Schusam Tagen Aleinu, Be'ezrat Hashem. If you have the Sefer, you can open up in Even Shlomo Bamidbar. I love this teaching today. I love it, because it's so true, it's so real, and only Rav Shlomo can give over this. You know, yesterday, I should have done this. Yesterday, the Ishbitzer was here, the great-grandson of the Ishbitzer. He's getting married in next week, in 2 weeks. He came to bring a wedding invitation. And I always whenever he comes, I'm always I have 20 questions I want to ask him about the different Torahs that we see by Rav Shlomo and the Mea Shilach. And I wanted to ask him, how do you guys learn it by you, by Ishbitz, you know? But then I'm just so enamored by the fact that I'm looking at the face of someone that probably looks exactly like his Elter Zayda, and I forget everything, and we just fly. So this is definitely one that I would have asked him. I would love to hear, how do you say this? How do you touch this? But basically, you all know, Chavre, those of us that have been learning with us in the past, you know that Bamidbar, Rav Shlomo had a name for Bamidbar. And this is a very heavy name, but it's true when you think about it. He said it's called the Book of Mistakes. Bamidbar is the book of... Remember we learned this, we've referenced this over the years. Bamidbar is known as the Book of Mistakes. And we want to learn the pnimius of mistakes. I don't know, I think maybe only one of you could relate to the Book of Mistakes, right? Maybe two? No? Wrong crowd. Okay, this is hypothetical, but it's for others that have to deal with the world of that they've been making certain mistakes.
Just learning for the sake of learning.
This is lishma. This is not. This is just lishma. It's not really. It's not really anything more than that. Okay, Bereshis, hu Sefer HaBriya. Bereshis is the book of creation. Shmos hu Sefer HaGeula. Shmos is the book of redemption. Vayikra hu Sefer Avodas Hashem. Vayikra is the book of serving Hashem. Ubamidbar hu Sefer HaKishlonos. As I was looking at this today, I wanted to call the guy that worked with me on this with the translation and ask him, why didn't we say ta'uyot? Why did we say kishlonot? But in English, I'm telling you, he said that he used to say mistakes, the book of mistakes. Now, Rav Shlomo says like this, kulanu to'im lefamim. All of us, we sometimes make mistakes. Kol od lo higata lamadrega שהתורה נמצאת עמוק בתוכך, ממש חלק מהאדם שלך, אתה מוכרח לטעות שוב ושוב. As long as you haven't reached the level that the Torah is so deep inside of you, literally part of your blood, you have to make mistake after mistake. It's just the way it is. That's what's going to be. That's what's going to be. So there's no Yidla that is going to raise his hand and said, I could tell you, I've been there, but now I'm not there. Right? No Yid would get up and say, the Torah has become completely part of me, and it's mamish in my blood, but I could still relate and understand about the Torah of mistakes. No. This is a journey for any person that's still alive. Because if you've mastered it, it gets very boring here very, very fast. It gets very boring very, very, very fast. So Reb Shlomo asks like this, Madua be'emet kol kach kasher liot Yehudi? Why is it so hard to be a Yid? מפני שאתה מוכרח להיכשל המון עד שהדברים נכנסים לתוכך, because you have to fail so many times and make so many mistakes until things actually get inside of you. לא רק כדי להיות יהודי. It's not just like this in order to be a Yid. אתה מוכרח לטעות המון כדי להפוך לסנדלר. Like you want to become a shoemaker. You got to make a million mistakes till you mastered that art. ואתה צריך לטעות עוד יותר כדי להיות רופא, and you'll probably make even more mistakes in life if you want to practice medicine. Why? This is a very, very chazak line. מפני שככל שהיעד גבוה יותר, the higher the destination is, כך מוכרחים להיכשל יותר בדרך אליו. The more mistakes you got to make on the way. Now, let's put context here. What's another word for Sefer Bamidbar? The book of preparing to enter Eretz Yisrael. Sefer Dvarim is 35 days long. That's how long Sefer Dvarim is, nachon? Sefer Dvarim is 35 days long. It begins Rosh Chodesh Shvat and it ends Zayin Adar. Sefer Bamidbar, how long is Sefer Bamidbar?
38 years.
It's like 39 years. The Chukas is 38 years. It's about 39 years. It's Tachlis. It's 39 years, right? The Arbaim Shana Akut Bedar is happening. This is Mamish Sefer Bamidbar. And it's because we're about to enter Eretz Yisrael, and that's why he said, the greater the destination of the place you're heading to is, the more mistakes you're going to make on the way. I think we've mastered that here in Eretz Yisrael, and the closer you are to Mashiach, is the same exact inyan, right? It's the same inyan. Now you'll see how he's not just Stam saying this. This is rooted deep in the teachings. Efshar lilmod b'shtei drachim. There are two ways of learning. Efshar lilmod she'echad ve'od echad hem shnayim. לחשוב ששלוש ועוד שלוש הם שש. אבל ישנה דרך עמוקה יותר ללמוד. There is the way of learning where someone explains to you algebra. Someone explains algebra to you. You learn, you more or less have the times table. I have this with it's so beautiful to see with my kids at every shlav. There's like, I have now 3 that are, the first 3 are, already gone through the algebra, the whole times table and everything. So you can make mistakes on the way to there, but you learn because you remember that this plus this is that and this minus this is that. That's an inyan of learning too. But there's a deeper way of learning something. And I think you could all connect to this already, what he's saying over here, like learning something. Learning something is not just remembering this comes before this, that comes after this. There's something much deeper. Lekol echad meitanu, each and every one of us, yesh ma'arechet yachasim im Hashem. We each have a relationship with the Master of the world. כדי ללמוד כיצד להניח תפילין, אנחנו צריכים שמישהו יראה לנו כמה פעמים ואז נדע. In order to learn how to put on tefillin, we need someone to teach us a few times, and then we'll know. I always have a bitter memory of this, but the first day I learned to put on tefillin, so my father taught me in our house, and then we went on a tiyul shnati that day, and I was so excited. Tiyul shnati means like an overnight trip. I was here, I was in Eretz Yisrael. What was it, 7th grade? Probably 7th grade. So, my father taught me, I was just so excited to have my tefillin. I was wearing, I remember, I had like a Magic and Kareem and the Lakers championship of '88 were on my t-shirt. And I learned, I have this imagery of it, right? I learned tefillin, it was a Raiders shirt, I don't remember. And I felt so in Gan Eden, right? And I took my tefillin with me to this trip. And then the next morning, everyone has woken up for davening, right? And I'm never, like, I wasn't one of those kids that was first or third or eighth. I wasn't a kid that didn't go, but I just wasn't one of the ones that would get there, right, first. But that morning, I'm putting on my tefillin, right? I'm there before anybody, and I take it out. And I have zero recollection of how to put on tefillin shel yad. I remember be'erech tefillin shel rosh, but I remembered you put on yad before rosh. I'm not going to put on rosh and then figure it out. So I'm waiting there, and I'm so embarrassed, and I'm looking at so many kids. The only thing is, I had so many Sephardi kids in my class. I had so many Yemenites and Moroccans, and they, on the bottom, their shin dalit is completely different. Mamash, over here it's completely different. There was also a Lubavitch kid, and then I saw him, the way he puts the tefillin shel yad is a little bit different up here, how they do the shin up here. And I was so embarrassed afterwards, but finally one of my rabbeim saw that I forgot, but so I didn't learn well enough the first day. So I get home and I learn. That's a learning. That's a mistake, you learn. בסדר. So אנחנו צריכים שמישהו יראה לנו כמה פעמים ואז נדע. But then he says like this, אם מערכת היחסים שלי עם השם היא במדרגה של לעשות או לא לעשות משהו, אין צורך בהרבה טעויות. He says, listen to this. This is so powerfully deep. If my relationship with God is only in the level of doing things or not doing things, actions, then there's no need for a lot of mistakes on the way because it's an action thing and you chop it and you figure it out and weiter. אבל במערכת היחסים העמוקה ביני ובין השם, but the deep relationship between me and Hashem מצריכה ממש חיים שלמים. I need a whole lifetime. שיש בהם עליות ויש להם בהם כישלונות וירידות. That I have highs, I have lows, I have successes, I have failures, and it's ongoing, and it's waves, and it's always, always, always going. Up or down, up or down. The ikar that it's not static. Kach melamed ha'ishbitzer. This is what the Ishbitzer says. Al kol ha'inyan shel Sefer Bamidbar. Now, where does he say this? Look at the footnote. The Ishbitzer says this in Dvarim. Because Dvarim, and also one of the first teachings in Maseh, which is the last Parsha in Sefer Bamidbar, because it's really encompassing all the whole point of what's going on over here. Think about it. Why do I need to know so many negative things about holy people throughout Sefer Bamidbar? Because that's really what it is. I find out all these negative things, mistakes, and failures by some very, very big neshamas. That's key. That's basically Sefer Bamidbar. And now he's going to explain it deeper. אתה יכול להתנהג הכי טוב, you could act the best, do everything right. And he would say this all the time. ובכל זאת לא להגיע אל הנקודה. And you're still missing the point. אם איש מבקש מאישה שהוא אוהב להינשא לו, הוא מסביר שכדאי לה, כי הוא יעשה את כל מה שהיא מבקשת, כמה רחוק כבר יגיעו היחסים האלה. If a man proposes to a woman and he loves her, and he explains, listen, I'll do everything you ask, how far will that relationship reach? But some of us are like that with Hashem. Be good to me, I'm going to do everything you say. It's got to be much deeper than this. Imagine I say this to Hashem. Hashem, I'm going to do everything you ask me to do. I'm still going to be outside of the story. We need something deeper than this. לעשות כל מה שהשם מבקש, זה לא הדבר הכי עמוק שאפשר להציע לו. This is so deep. He's saying, doing what Hashem asks you to do is not the deepest thing that you could offer God. כי גם מי שעושה הכל כראוי, עלול להיות בחוץ. Because even those that do everything right may find themselves outside of the story. It may be. They may find themselves outside of the story. בספר במדבר אנחנו קוראים שאפילו משה רבינו יכול לטעות. In Bamidbar we learned that even Moshe Rabbeinu can make mistakes, אבל למרות הטעויות, but despite the mistakes, הוא לא הפסיק להיות משה רבינו. This is the ikar here. We learn about Moshe Rabbeinu. Listen, up until Bamidbar, where's Moshe Rabbeinu in our minds? Just kilo higher than the malachim, right? Higher than the malachim. No one greater than, there's nothing greater than him. Moshe Rabbeinu. And then I come to Sefer Bamidbar, and I'm over here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Ribono Shel Olam, could it be that why do I have to find this out about Moshe Rabbeinu? It was so much better when it was just this Malach Hashem Tzvakos. 40 yom v'arba'im laila, 40 days, 40 nights, lechem lo achal, mayim lo shata, didn't eat bread, didn't drink water. I want to stay in that place. But Bamidbar is telling me, you want to go into Eretz Yisrael? Learn that even the greatest people like Moshe Rabbeinu make mistakes, but guess what? They're still Moshe Rabbeinu. They're still Moshe Rabbeinu. He didn't stop being Moshe Rabbeinu. כשאני קרוב מאוד למישהו, הקרבה אליו אינה תלויה בשאלה כמה הוא עושה את רצוני. Never measure closeness to someone based on how much they do what you want them to do. Because those people in your life are probably the furthest from you. Those that just do what you want them to do, that's such outside, it's not even closeness, it's nothing to do with the kishkas. Nothing. Never measure closeness to another person based on how they obey your orders or they're in tune with what you want. That's an outside experience. That's an outside relationship. However, if you think about it, there's so many people that are living that way with the Ribono Shel Olam. Because no one ever told them that there's something deeper. It doesn't, God forbid, mean don't do what Hashem wants you to do, but don't measure your closeness just based on that. And He's going to develop this. And I'm running today because it's very late. Turn the page. בספר בראשיס אנחנו לומדים על ההתחלות. בראשיס is all about beginnings, Rav Shlomo says. אנחנו לומדים כיצד ברא השם את העולם, כיצד התחיל עם ישראל. We learn how Hashem created the world, how עם ישראל began. בספר שמוס אנחנו לומדים איך נעשינו לעם. In Shmos we learn how we became a people. וקיבלנו את התורה. בספר ויקרא, אנחנו לומדים איך לעבוד את השם במשכן, ספר העבודה. We learn in ויקרא how to serve God in the משכן. אבל אתם יודעים מה? But you know something, האמת שאתה יכול לדעת את בראשיס, שמוס ויקרא, ועדיין ליפול לתהומות עמוקים. You could know בראשיס, you could know שמוס, you could know ויקרא, and still fall into the deepest abyss of darkness. כי צריך יותר מלדעת. צריך יותר מלעשות. We need more than just knowing how things happen. We need more than just doing things on an action level. And he goes into one of the few of the examples of people that knew everything. They knew Bereshit, Shmos, and Vayikra, and it still wasn't enough for them to avoid them falling so deep. Look what he says here. Meraglim hayu mamash anashim הכי קדושים בעולם. That's in Bamidbar. The spies were the holiest. כל אחד שנבחר למרגל היה האיש הכי קדוש בשבט שלו. Right? כולם אנשים ראשי בני ישראל המה, is the pasuk. ראשי בני ישראל. They were the greatest chief rabbis of their jurisdictions, of their shvatim. ובכל זאת, nonetheless, מגיע רגע בחיים שבו הייתה לאדם מספיק קדושה בשביל 5 הדקות שעברו, אבל היא כבר לא מספיקה בשביל 5 הדקות הבאות. Comes a time in life that your holiness was good enough for 5 minutes ago. But the holiness of the next 5 minutes is something completely different. This is Mamish Aliyah. What he's speaking about here is Torah's Eretz Yisrael. And people can't fathom, they don't understand. What are you talking about? Like, it's like, what worked for you then, it doesn't mean that it's not Kadosh. It just means that the holiness you reached, the levels of internalizing, learning, growth, all that was great for 5 minutes ago. But from 5 minutes from then, now is a completely different story. So the meraglim were the holiest in the world. For what? For their, up until they had their greatest test in life. Up until then, it was great. I always tell Chaver, they have some of the Chaver that come here, they have a hard time. Why? Because in Chutz La'aretz, they saw that they could, Megala, they could reveal to someone that, Gimel comes before Dalet and blow the minds of, many people, or, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Here, Eretz Yisrael, that it's so much deeper. You gotta be filled with so much more. And it's true bichlal in the world. It's true about every stage in life. But the meraglim, this is a very important thing. The holiness that was good enough for me 5 minutes ago is not shayach at all to what 5 minutes from now on. It's the same thing with marriage, Chavra. The way that the holiness and the dedication that I may have had for my family, the level of dedication I had for my family 2 weeks ago was perfect. But that dedication today is toxic. Is that clear? It was great for when the situation of your family was so-and-so. But in light of what's needed right now, gurnish mit gurnished. It's nothing. It's nothing. Because the greater the destination is, right? The greater the destination is, then that means that the greater mistakes you're going to come, which means it's going to demand of you. It's going to demand of you more and more and more.
Are we going to get to the how here? Because we're taught, Lishmor, Velasa, Lukayim, Kol Divrei. This is the way that we can reach whatever level that we always strive for. So I understand what you're saying. How do we get to whatever that level is that's beyond perfection in ma'asim and transform it into some higher level of effort?
So first of all, you have to not freak out from mistakes.
Right.
That's aleph.
So that's the design. Because part of the design, human beings
100%.
learn through mistakes.
So aleph, right? So I would say that's aleph, and I love your question, but I think that aleph is, remember, Moshe Rabbeinu was still Moshe Rabbeinu after he hit the rock. We're all still that, right? But it's to live a life of paying attention and noticing that what was good enough for 5 minutes ago was good enough for 5 minutes ago. I need something deeper. I need something that's more in harmony with where I'm at now because I'm closer to the goal. I'm closer to the destination. And the how, I believe, is throughout Sefer Bamidbar by looking at the pnimius of each mistake.
It's almost like pre-Shabbat Shmini Atzeret and then post-Shabbat Shmini Atzeret.
What do you mean?
In terms of what I was doing up until that point was okay, but then post, it's like a different madrigal. You have to get to a different point.
Right. We were speaking of It's also asiya, but it's not the asiya, and many will. I've gone into trouble for saying this, but I'll tell you what the danger is. when I was a kid in high school, 14, 15 years old, there were tons of suicide bombers on buses. It was like happening all the time. All the time. There was suicide. Till today, I have in my house, I just found this while I was moving stuff in the machzan. I found these wires, these burnt wires that I remember that I went to one of the scenes of, if you remember us, there was a Kav Shmonasre, consecutive Sunday mornings. The 18 bus in Yerushalayim on Yafo blew up.
I was at that scene too.
You were there. So I went. I don't know what I was doing there. I was like I was 15, but I went there and I took some of the wires and I brought it home with me, right? Now, how did we pride ourselves back then in terms of asiyah?
Cleaning it up and getting
Clean
over
up, move on.
How much did that do for us?
By the way, that's the part of that whole scene that is
Etched
burned
in.
into my. I was watching them
Clean it. Fast. I'll give you another
2
example.
hours later,
I'll give you another example. Purim, Dizengoff Center, same year. You were there while it happened?
in the building.
Oh, you were in the building. Erev Purim, it's Tini's Esther, I think. Afternoon. I went there at night with one of my Rebbeim in high school and some friends, Dafka, to go to the area and do a Kriyas Megillah there. It's bidiyuk. It's as if nothing was there. It's surreal. So that level of asiyah, I don't know. Just to do, I don't know. It seems that can't just be it.
No, I buy that. What is beyond us?
That's what we're here doing, learning Sefer Bamidbar. Yeah. We're here just 2 more minutes, Chevra. And we're on the 4th line in the 2nd paragraph. Anashim rabim hem kedoshim me'od. Many people are very holy. אבל כשהם מגיעים למבחנים החשובים בחייהם הם נכשלים. You have a lot of holy people that when they reach the great tests of their life, they fail. Why? מפני שבמבחנים הכי חשובים בחיים, האדם זקוק למשהו אחר, because דווקא in the great tests of life, you need something else than what you were accustomed to. כל כמה שמשה רבינו היה קדוש, as holy as Moshe Rabbeinu was, הוא היה זקוק בבירור לעוד סנטימטר אחד קטן, כדי להיכנס לארץ ישראל. He needed 1 more centimeter in order to get into Eretz Yisrael. וריבונו שלם אמר לו, חסר לך את הסנטימטר הזה. You're missing this centimeter. אולי בכלל אסור לדבר על כך, מפני שהסיבה שמשה רבינו לא נכנס לארץ ישראל הרבה יותר עמוקה מזה. And he says, maybe we shouldn't even talk like that, because the reason Moshe Rabbeinu didn't come into Eretz Yisrael was much deeper than that, because on the level of action, was there anyone better than Moshe Rabbeinu? And let's say on the level of mistakes, did anyone else make less mistakes than Moshe Rabbeinu? All we know of from the Torah, from the pshat of the Torah, was 1. Nachon, there's a drush that says that he made a mistake by divorcing his wife, and he was less sensitive to chochmas nashim, and if he was still married to Tzipora at the time of sending out the meraglim, the Kliyakar says he would have chosen to send out meraglot, like we learned many times, instead of meraglim. And then the meraglot, women's eyes looking and scouting the land, would not brought about that report, and we wouldn't have had Tisha B'Av, there wouldn't have been Churban Habayis. But from the pshat of the Torah, 1 mistake. 1 mistake. So maybe it's even deeper than all that. Aval. Kamo shomrim tzadikim. And this, in the Chidush Yarim, I want to do this year. Every year I say we're going to do it. This year when it comes Chukas, I want to do this. Eli, you've seen this inside. Kevan shadavar nichtav b'Torah aleinu lilmod mikach. It's not a nice and a pretty thing to delve deep into Aaron HaKohen's mistakes, into Moshe Rabbeinu's mistakes, into Miriam HaNeviah's lashon hara. It's not naim. It's not nice. That's why I can't stand the field of biblical criticism. They have more geschmack. There's like a simchas hanefesh when they find characteristic flaws in the avos and imos. They have such simcha. Nothing greater. Tell them Mashiach's going to come. Wait. We're still deciphering the psychological downfall analysis of the Rabbeinu household of maybe Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam didn't receive proper love from their mother, and that's why they became. I can't stand this stuff. It makes me sick. sick. We approach learning the mistakes that are written in the Torah about holy people because the Torah wants us to learn something deep about ourselves. Not to start figuring out all these things people do with Gdolim. מה שאנחנו צריכים ללמוד מכל זה הוא שהכל יכול להיות מושלם. What we learn from all this is that everything can be perfect. אתה יכול להיות קדוש שבקדושים כל ימיך עד לרגע זה. You could have been the holy of holiest in your life till this moment. ובחמש הדקות הבאות, in the next 5 minutes, ריבונו שלם יעמיד אותך בניסיון ואתה עלול להיכשל. ריבונו שלם could put you through a test right now and you could fail. And you're sitting there saying, I don't understand. How in the world did I not pass this test? Why are you putting me through this test? You saw how holy I was, Rebbeinu. Let's be... Shuli Rand has a great song. He opens up by saying, Ribono shel olam, im nedaber gluyot. If we speak gluyot, reveal, kilu, let's talk openly, right? Like someone once told me, and I thought there was such a pompous thing that they were saying to me, but it actually is very deep. He said to me, Shlomo, I לא מבין. ריבונו של עולם יודע איזה שחקן יש לו פה למטה. Right? He was like saying about how hard his life. He says, Hashem knows what kind of a dude he has on the court for him. Why would he do this, right? It was perfect till a few minutes ago. For now, it's something else. So he ends off here and he says, this is why the Torah was given in the desert. מדוע ניתנה התורה במדבר? כל הצדיקים אומרים שהתורה ניתנת רק למי שיודע שבלי התורה הוא כמו מדבר. All the tzaddikim know that the Torah is given only to those that know that without the Torah, my life is a desert. במדבר אינך יודע לאן אתה הולך. In the desert, you have no idea where you're going. אתה יכול ללכת עם מעגלים כל החיים. You can walk around in circles your whole life. דמיינו שאתם עבודים במדבר, you're lost in the desert, ומי שנותן לכם מפה, והמפה מלמדת אתכם איך לצאת מהמדבר. And this map shows you how to get out of the desert. גוואלד. כמה חזק תחזיק את המפה הזו? How strong are you going to hold on to this map? וכל הצדיקים אומרים שאתה צריך לאחוז בתורה, הלוואי, we should feel like this. The tzaddikim say we have to hold on to the Torah כאילו הייתי במדבר. As if I'm in the desert, והיא המפה שלך החוצה. And this is your map to get out. Any of you ever get lost in the desert?
It's very fun.
Happened to me last week with Yossi. Literally.
I once
But I had
had...
a map, so I got out.
I didn't have a map. I one time I was being a chacham, I took my daughter and her friends on her birthday or something to a hike, okay, somewhere. I don't know, it's so not characteristic of me, but I don't know how it happened. Maybe it was my turn to volunteer in camp. I don't remember what it was. I took them onto a certain hike and it was hot, and I'm realizing I took them up the mountain. I had no idea how to get down from here, how to get out of here. And the water is running out and it's hot, and my daughter and her friends are like ran out of, chants, their songs and everything. And it was the first time that I felt like, wow, I mamish need, and also there was no reception where I was, so I couldn't even figure out. Yeah. Oh my God. And then this is just so funny. I'm like sweating bullets and I'm trying to keep a smiley face, not get my daughter worried and her friends. And then I see this like couple, like people finally, I found this couple, and I go up to them and I'm like, and they're like, are you Shlomo? I'm like, listen, I just need to get out of here right now. Like, I'll be anybody you want me to be right now. If you're not married yet, I'll do your chuppah. Get me out of the couple. They were dating. I was like, just tell me how to get out of here. Mom, they were my Torah. I was holding on to them for dear life. But that's how it has to feel. That's what he's saying. That's like for dear life. התורה ניתנת, last line, התורה ניתנת במדבר, כדי שתדע, שגם אחרי שהתורה ניתנת, אתה עדיין במדבר. So the Torah was given in the desert to tell you that even after it was given, you're still in the desert. עדיין אינך יודע מה קורה. You're not sure exactly what's going on. כי אפשר ללמוד כל מילה ועדיין לטעות לגמרי. You could still learn every word the Torah says and still be completely off. Like we see many gdolim like this. The pnimius of this is, Gal einai ve'abit an niflos mitoratecha. Ribono shel olam, teach me how to lift up my eyes, to understand in a deeper way how to live the Torah that I kivyachol know, and may I never rely on how holy I was 10 seconds ago. That's the Torah of Bamidbar. May I never rely on how sweet and beautiful and the good things I did 10 minutes ago. Because right now may be something completely different. And the closer I am to greatness, the more that it's going to be happening to me. The more that michsholim are going to be on the derech, which is exactly what Am Yisrael has been stuck in for a long time, but specifically in our tkufa right now. And the achana for Shavuos, there's no greater achana in my opinion to Shavuos. So let's celebrate the book of mistakes in the deepest way this year.